Distinguished guests, James H. Grove's faculty and staff, family members, and friends. Welcome to our GED Recognition Ceremony for the Sussex Center of the James H. Groves Adult High School. This is a dignified affair as we celebrate and honor your GED earner. In spirit of that, please silence your cell phones. Our photographer will be taking a photo of the GED earner with the dignitaries as they receive their certificate. Please limit your photos to where you are sitting during the ceremony. You will have time at the end of our ceremony for your own photos, but do feel free to celebrate your special person today with cheers and congratulations. The ceremony is also being recorded and will be posted to our YouTube channel. You can access our YouTube channel from our Sussex Tech Adult Division website. Please stand and remain standing if you are able for the procession of our GED honorees. For the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Good evening. I am Kelly Whaley and proud to say I have the privilege of serving as the supervisor of adult education at Sussex Tech and the principal for the Sussex Center of the James H. Groves Adult High School. Congratulations, State of Delaware official GED earners. Look around you, isn't this awesome? All the people present tonight have come to share in the celebration of you reaching this very important life milestone and to also honor all the effort and sacrifices you have made in achieving this goal. We are here tonight to celebrate your accomplishments, which could not have been possible without the help and support that you have received in your journey from your family members and friends. This may have been a simple pat on the back as you passed a GED subtest, or as involved as watching children as you attended class, giving you a ride, helping with your semester fees, etc., etc. The list goes on and on. GED earners, please rise and look into the audience and applaud those people who were there to support you while you were at school. Thank you. To our faculty and staff, our James H. Groves students are blessed to have such a hardworking, caring group of professional teachers, counselors, paraprofessionals, secretaries, and administrators. Our students have told me that what they like best about our staff is that the staff never gives up on their students. From relentless phone calling, emails, texts, personal visits, to efforts in explaining GED test content in numerous ways to ensure student success are just a few common practices to keep our students engaged and moving forward. Faculty and staff, please rise. Thank you. As I recognize our special guests, please signify who you are by either waving or standing. Special recognition needs to be acknowledged to our Sussex County Vocational Technical School District Administration. These include Dr. Kevin Carson, our Superintendent, and Mr. Marcel Hayes, one of our school board members. From the Delaware Department of Education, we have with us Mrs. Maureen Whelan, Director of Adult and Prison Education Resources. Without their daily support, advocacy, and public acknowledgement of all our programs, including GED, we would not thrive and be effectively operating in our communities. In addition, Sussex Tech has GED Community Partners I would like to thank and acknowledge. Our first community partner is the Seaford District Library. Jerry Kaiser, Library Director, has been our advocate for local GED services. He put his hand up in allowing his library to become a GED test center for Sussex County when no one else would. It's been in existence since 2016 and allows our testers a local alternative other than traveling to Dover. Not only did he enable the test center, but he opened the library doors so we could offer a GED class at this site. And he is hosting our event this evening. We have expanded our course offerings here to include a daytime ESL class as well. Thank you, Jerry. Also, thank you to Rachel Wackett of the Seaford District Library for her support as well. Rachel has been instrumental in our ability to offer GED and ESL classes to the Seaford community. Alexis Brinsfield of the Georgetown Department of Labor.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. Check your Wi-Fi network connection by going to settings.
Alexis Brinsfield is the Georgetown Department of Labor manager. She couldn't be with us tonight, but she provides supports for one of our GED sites. At DOL's Georgetown office, our students can get job counseling, placement, as well as job training opportunities for eligible clients. Rachel Jackson Culver from the Georgetown Library is also one of our supporters who could not be here tonight. We have ESL classes there, and she is a member of our advisory council. Kristen Chelmau from the Laurel Public Library is also one of our partners who we would like to thank. We opened a new programming there this January for both ESL and GED. Our newest community partner is Bonnie Elliott from the Frankford Public Library, and we are opening GED classes in July at the Frankford Library, and those will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We also want to recognize a big financial supporter of our GED students. That's OASIS. That's the Organization of Adult Alumni and Students in Service. GED subtests cost $30 each, and there are 4 of them. We are proud to say that through their scholarship process, OASIS has covered all subtests for students who qualify. In fact, all of our GED earners from so far in 2022 had their GED tests covered by OASIS's generosity. A special thank you to Beverly Houston, the OASIS supervisor, Shantae Harmon, the OASIS team leader, and Haley Talbot, our Sussex Tech OASIS worker. Haley is with us this evening. Please recognize Haley. Thank you once again to all our supporters and community partners. To understand the true accomplishment of our GED earners, it's important to understand the rigor of the 2014 GED test. How is this test rigorous? The GED subtests are 4 Common Core aligned tests that evaluate critical thinking, application, and analysis skills in reading language arts, social studies, science, and math. Students must pass all 4 tests in order to earn their GED credential. GED earners must be able to write effectively and defend an argument. This test is normed to the average score of high school seniors who graduated with a high school diploma across the country. To become GED credentialed, a student must perform on this standardized test with high passing standards. In addition, students can earn honors in this test to show they are college ready. All our GED earners here today have shown persistence and courage to meet the elements of this test head on. Many GED earners here today have already gone on to higher education, training, and increased job advancement as a result of earning their secondary credential. You will hear about each student's accomplishments a little later in the program. Please offer a round of applause to our GED earners tonight. Now I would like to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Kevin Carson, Sussex Tech Superintendent, is going to offer congratulatory remarks. Dr. Carson.
We'll make this work. Thank you, Mrs. Whaley. To the graduates, parents, friends, community members, supporters, I bring you greetings on behalf of all of us at Sussex County Vocational Technical School District. I want to commend Mr. Hayes for being able to join us tonight as a member of our Board of Education. I would like to begin by saying that I'm extremely proud of you, and I think everybody in this room is going to tell you that they're proud of you also for what you've overcome and for the diligence that you've shown in order to be able to get here tonight. So congratulations. I came in the front door and I like to look at the signage and the things that are within buildings and look at different notifications. And one of the tribute monuments out in the lobby talks about the Robert Frost Society. Robert Frost is one of my favorite authors, and one of his more famous writings talks about the road less traveled. And sometimes it's very easy to take the road that everyone travels. And I can tell you that there's not a person in this room that hasn't had to take a sideways step or to go around in a different way or to get to a goal or to an objective by doing things maybe just a little bit different. And so to the adults that have helped you along this path, to your own perseverance about being able to get here, to the folks from OASIS, I can't tell you how I appreciate the fact that you have stood with and stand behind these graduates in order to make sure that they get their diploma and their certificate, GED acknowledgement. This is an important day in your life because it's going to impact the rest of your life. It will impact your ability to earn an income, to raise your family, to seek training opportunities, and to have many, many significant chances in order to be able to improve things for yourself as you proceed. So I'll conclude with where I began. We're extremely proud of you. I look forward to handing you your certificate and wish you all the best. Godspeed. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Carson. Now I would like to ask our next speaker, Mrs. Maureen Whelan, State Director of Adult and Prison Resources, to come to the podium to offer her congratulatory remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you, have you ever seen a more distinguished group of learners in your life? And let me echo Dr. Carson's congratulations. Today is very important, and maybe just as important, we are extremely proud of what it is that you have done, and we are here to honor you tonight. So let me start by saying it is my pleasure to bring to you the congratulations from the Delaware Department of Education, from the Secretary of Education, who is Mark Holodeck, and from Michael Rodriguez, who is our Associate Secretary, who is in charge of student supports, and that's where it is that adult education lies within the department. I also want to thank very much the Sussex Technical School District, the libraries for all it is that they have been doing, OASIS for everything that they've been doing. And folks, isn't it wonderful when we all get together in the same room and we decide to bring all of our resources together so that we can better serve the members of our community? And that's what it is that we ought to be doing, and I congratulate everybody in this room on being a model for what it is that we can go on and do. So, let me say, Henry Ford once said, those who believe they can and those who believe they can't are both right. And I will make the argument for the folks that we see in front of us tonight and the folks that we are honoring are most especially the people who believe that they can. Yeah. Now, as Mrs. Whaley had already explained to us, right, the GED is not an easy test. I have talked to people who have masters and said, oh my gosh, I am so glad I don't have to take that test. And yet, you folks took all 4 sections and you passed it. So clearly, we know you got the academic smarts. Right? But beyond that, and I just want to look at the paper here to make sure that I get the numbers right. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is a division of the U.S. Department of Labor, says, right, that on average, a person without a secondary credential, which means without a GED or a high school diploma, makes, and this is 2021 data, makes about $629 a week, or roughly $33,000 a year. Those who have a secondary credential earn, on average again, $809 a week, or $42,000 a year. Those who have something beyond their GED or high school diploma, but not an associate's, it could be vocational training, alrighty, or it could be just additional courses, make around $899 a week, or roughly $42,000, that's not true, roughly $45,000 annually, alrighty? So the whole point here is not only have you guys got your academic smarts, but you got your financial smarts. Just as Superintendent Carson had said, this credential that you have, you can take to the bank. It's going to get you more opportunities, and it'll get you higher paying jobs. Now, the other thing that this GED is going to show is that you have what it is employers want. And what employers want right now are folks who have a desire to learn more and folks who have an ability to learn more. Clearly, you do, or else you wouldn't have been in the room tonight. You know, psychologists say there are 2 kinds of mindsets. One is a fixed mindset and one is a growth mindset. The fixed mindset says alrighty? You know, I'm about as smart as what I was, the number of brain cells I had when I was born. You know, you've heard people who sat there and said, oh, I can never do math. I didn't know how to do math when I was in 1st grade. I didn't know how to do math when I was in 5th grade. I didn't know how to do math when I was 9th grade. That's a fixed mindset. But there's also something that's called a growth mindset. And the growth mindset says that I can learn new materials through experience, through training, and through further education. And clearly, guys, this is exactly what it is that you are showing with getting your GED certificate. When folks believe that they have a fixed mindset, they are literally washing themselves out of what the current job market is. Because if you can't learn new skills, then your chances of being able to get the job and stay at a job as it evolves is nil. And clearly, you guys know that, or else you wouldn't have been here tonight. And last but not least, successful people persevere. Is there anybody in the room who passed their GED subtests the first time you sat down to take them? Well, congratulations, guys. That is fabulous. Alrighty, it's great you can pass it the first time, totally. But if you have to take it another time, that's okay too. Alright? 3 strikes and you're out in baseball. So you get more than 1 chance. And life gives you more than 3 strikes. So what it is that Steve Jobs had ended up saying was, and remember he was the CEO of Apple, I am convinced that what separates a successful person from a non-successful person is perseverance. And clearly, that is what each one of you have. So guys, if there's nothing else you remember tonight, let me just ask you to remember this. You are men and women who have the confidence and the boldness to believe you can create your own futures. You are men and women who believe that the future holds promise and that for you, the best is yet to come. Congratulations, guys. You've done a great job.
Thank you, Mrs. Whelan, for those inspiring words. Next, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our student speaker, Jacob Doulas. Jacob just earned his GED in 2021 and completed his Science and Social Studies GED test with scores at the college level. Jacob, would you please come forward to give your speech?
Good evening. As Ms. Whelan just said, my name is Jacob Doulas, and I should have graduated high school from Sussex Tech in 2018. As you can see, that didn't work out for me. During my last couple of years of high school, I found myself losing track. I found myself losing motivation. I just stopped making sense for me. You know, and it made it harder to see a way to complete everything before graduation came due. So I talked to my mom, and we decided that it was best if I took night school. And clearly that also didn't work out because I was working full time then. I had to pay bills then. I had to be an adult on top of trying to do school. Became much harder, and I let it slip. I did not complete that. So after holding a couple of different positions in construction, I worked as an electrician. I've worked doing roofing. I've worked doing framing. I decided I wanted to get a degree in construction management, and to do that, I would need my GED to enroll in Dell Tech. After gathering a little information, I was able to earn my GED through Sussex Tech's Adult Ed program. The flexibility with the class schedule made completing the GED an easy process. And I'm just one example of why GED programs such as through James H. Groves and through Sussex Tech and through the public library systems is super necessary. For some, dropping out of high school is due to extenuating circumstances, maybe a family situation. For me, it was finding a path that made sense. When I was in high school, I just couldn't make heads or tails of why school was something I needed to do. It took me a few years and a lot of overtime, a lot of back pain, a lot of coming home tired, dog tired, to realize that I needed to do something different. I've always loved learning, but the traditional way never really made sense to me. Never really fit the way my brain worked. Leaving high school and working full-time allowed me to learn how hard it is to exist outside of the norm, outside of being somebody with that secondary certificate. But at the same time, I learned what my future needed to be and what I needed to do to get there. Earning the GED allowed me to open even more doors than I could have imagined. If I could give current students struggling in high school any advice, it's find what works for you. Sometimes traditional school is not what works for everybody. Sometimes it's night school, sometimes it's earning a GED. There's no shame in saying you don't fit into a traditional environment. There's no shame in earning your diploma at 21, 41, or even 81. Don't be someone who regrets not having the opportunity. Find a path that works for you and complete it. You won't be disappointed with where you end up. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. We appreciate you sharing your story this evening. Next, we would like to hear from our GED coordinator, Mrs. Kim Banks.
Good evening, dignitaries, Sussex Tech staff, and GED students. For those of you that don't know me, I am Kim Banks, and I've worked for Sussex Tech for almost 20 years. I love my job, and I am one of those crazy cat ladies. And my favorite movie is Big Fish. And I know you're wondering, what does Big Fish have to do with GED ceremony? Let me explain. A synopsis of this story starts out with a father nearing the end of his life, and he wants to reconnect with his son. And every day that the son visits his father, the father shares with him a story of someone that he's met throughout his lifetime. And as I began to reflect on my life, I started to think about, you know what? I have met some amazing GED students in those 20 years. I wanted to share with you one of the stories of a student this year. This young man left one of our local high schools in his senior year. He joined James H. Groves, spent 2 weeks in the program, and after 2 weeks he decided it was not for him. And right before he left and did his exit paperwork, I said, have you considered maybe earning a GED? And I could tell that he kind of thought, well, maybe I can do that. So we scheduled him for GED placement testing. Testing came and went, and he didn't show up. Gave him a few days, and I called him in again, and I said, hey, I noticed that you missed testing. Would you like to reschedule? And he agreed. After several days went by, I received a phone call from that very same student, and I knew in my heart, I said, oh, he's not going to do it. We've lost him. But instead, he said, Mrs. Banks, can I bring my dad and my sister to testing? Absolutely. You bet you can. So the ending of that story was they all passed. It was a happy ending. It was exciting for them and for us. Our first for us, by the way, a family affair. I also want to tell you about the countless times of other students that I've met and their stories. Some of them have had obstacles like unplanned parenthood. Others have struggled with either a mental or physical obstacle. Others have fallen victim to high school Zoom. And for others, the traditional school, 8 to 3, 5 days a week, just did not work for them. Just doesn't work. It's not a one-size-fits all. But you see, their stories were not over. Each and every one of them was determined to complete a credential and change their lives forever. In closing, I want to express how proud I am of every single one of you. You passed a nationwide test that not everyone can pass. I am so happy that Sussex Tech could be a small part of your story, and I'm grateful that each and every one of you decided to continue your educational story. I want to encourage you to not let that story end. I want you to pursue job training or college or continued employment, whatever it is that makes your dreams come true. Make your story amazing.
Thank you, Kim. The commitment our teachers have to providing innovative instruction to enable our students to succeed is truly admirable. Now I would like to introduce Mrs. Michelle Cathell, Program Operations, who will present scholarship information.
Thank you, Mrs. Whaley. Sussex Tech Adult Division is committed not only to helping students earn their GED or high school diploma, but we also advocate for post-secondary achievements for our students. We encourage them to maintain their education or training into the future, either with our adult division programs, such as health professions or skilled trades, or with college enrollment. We are proud to announce that each Sussex Tech GED credentialed student is a scholarship award recipient. Each of you will receive a $100 scholarship to be used towards any career training or college education. The information on this scholarship is included in the certificate each of you will receive today. Congratulations.
Thank you, Michelle. As we prepare for the moment that our GED earners have been waiting for, I ask that Dr. Carson and Maureen Whelan please come and stand front center. Members of the Sussex Tech Administration and school, distinguished guests, family, and friends, may I present to you those students who have successfully completed the requirements for the General Education Development GED credential as acknowledged as a secondary credential by the State of Delaware. GED earners, please wait for your name to be called to come forward to receive your certificate. James Adkins. James' future plans are to work his way up in his current company. Israel Behena. His future plans are to be a great electrician after he finishes the apprenticeship program. Logan Dittmer, sorry. His future plans are to get a good paying job that he enjoys doing. Jacob Doulas plans to pursue a degree in construction management and start his own custom home building company. Rachel Harding. Her future plans are to go to college to become an art teacher. Michael Hawkins. He wants to work on boats, cars, and come to apprenticeship to be in our auto mechanics program. Teresa Johnson. She wants to continue furthering her education to be able to impact this world even more. Courtney Lord. His future plans are to continue with his employment. Angela Pennewell. To continue my education for a better future for my kids and my family. Jacob Sarafa. He joined the Navy today. Myrna Soon. Her future plans are to be an employer. GED earners, please stand. By the powers vested in me as principal of the James H. Groves Adult High School, I recognize these GED students to have earned a secondary credential as recognized by the State of Delaware. You may be seated. Now it's time for the commercial. You, our newest GED credentialed students, are our new ambassadors for Delaware adult education. I am passing you the baton to give it to others in your family or circle of friends who need a secondary credential. Encourage them. Bring them into the office. Connect them with a counselor. Education is the gift that keeps giving and translates into dollars in your pocket by increasing employment opportunities and opening the door for post-secondary training or college. We have classes in Frankford, Georgetown, Laurel, Lewes, and Seaford. Check out our programs on our website and follow us on Facebook. Pick up a brochure or flyer near the lobby. We have a display set up in the back. And pass it on. I thank each of you for coming this evening and invite you to enjoy some cake and refreshment in the back of the room. Everyone, please rise and remain in your seats until the GED earners have departed the room. And remember, we're going to go outside for our picture, okay?